Do you want custom boot animations on your top and bottom 3DS screens? Well, you came to the right place. 2 years ago, I made a video where I turned my 3DS into a DS, and that involved recreating the DS boot animation. A lot of people tried to do this, but were only able to get the top or bottom screen to work, not both. I was very new to YouTube at the time, and didn't change my script to share how I actually did it, because I already recorded the voiceover that gave the incorrect instructions. So if I drag this to the BaX folder on my 3DS and put the SD card back inside, this should work. It's very dumb that I didn't just make a new script, but 2 years later, I'm here to correct my mistake. So let's get started. Starting off, here's everything you'll need to get a custom boot animation. A 3DS running Luma Custom firmware, a Windows computer, a video editing software to create your boot animation in specified resolutions, bax.firm, makebax, boot9 strap, and ffmpeg. Everything is linked in the description. With everything downloaded, extract the zip file. We're going to drag stuff to your 3DS SD card now. So take it out and throw it at your computer. Gently put it in your SD card reader. The first file is bax.firm. You will put this file on the root of your 3DS's SD card and also create a folder on your SD card called bax. This is where you'll put the boot animation we create later. If you drag in multiple animations in this folder, it will randomly choose one of them each time you boot your 3DS. Also create a folder called boot9 strap, spelled like this, if you don't already have one. In here, drag everything inside the boot9 folder to it. The last file is safe b9s installer. This goes inside Luma, then payloads on your 3DS. There's nothing you have to do on your 3DS, so keep the SD card in your computer for now. Later on, we will open Windows PowerShell to convert our MP4 boot animation into an IVF file, which involves using ffmpeg. To have ffmpeg show up in PowerShell, we have to add a path for it. To do this, open the ffmpeg folder, open bin, click up here where the directory is, and copy this text. Now, open Control Panel, search path, and click edit the system environment variables. In here, go to environment variables, double click path, then new, and paste the location of ffmpeg. You can then hit OK, and then close Control Panel. Now it's time to create a boot animation. If you know how to use an editing software, create a 720 by 240 sequence and put the top screen video in 400 by 240 resolution on the left side and bottom screen video in 320 by 240 resolution on the right side. If that sounded like a whole bunch of yap, I'll show you how to do this using Premiere Pro, and hopefully it will help you even if you're using a different editing software. If you can't get an editing software or think this will be too confusing, don't worry, just keep watching. So we are going to create our boot video the longer way, just so it's easier to follow along if you're using a different editing software. So we're going to create the video for the top screen, render that, create the video for the bottom screen, render that, and then combine those two videos into one MP4. So let's first make the top screen. I found the perfect video which is going to make the world's best boot animation. Look at this, guys.
What the segment?
And the 3DS's top screen is 400 by 240. So I'm going to make a new sequence in that exact resolution. If you're using Premiere, go to settings and then 400 by 240. I'm doing 30 FPS, but this does support up to 60 FPS if you do have a 60 FPS video. Set the color space to 709 and then OK. So now I'm going to drag my video into the sequence, keep existing settings so it's the right resolution. And now I'm going to click the clip, go into effect controls, and make Squidward take up the whole screen. So let's make him bigger like that, and then turn off uniform scale so that I can just make it as wide as I want to. And there we go. We have our 400 by 240 Squidward, and now I'm just going to see where I want this to end. Okay, he says it there, then it kind of repeats, so I'm going to end it right here. But now that that's done, I'm going to go to File, Export, Media, go to Video, and make sure that I export it in the correct resolution by clicking this check mark. So now it's set to 400 by 240, and I'm just going to call it top screen and export. And now we're going to do the exact same thing, but for the bottom screen, and the bottom screen's resolution is 320 by 240. And I'm unoriginal, so we're just going to keep Squidward and not change the image. But what you would want to do is drag in whatever video you want to use for the bottom screen, and make sure that this one exports at 320 by 240. And when you have your top screen and bottom screen exported, you want to drag them back into your editing software. And now what we're going to do is combine them into one MP4. So to do this, we want to make the resolution 720 by 240 this time. And now what we want to do is put the top screen on the left half of this and put the bottom screen on the right half. So I'm going to drag in the top screen, keep existing settings, drag in the bottom screen, and then I'm going to zoom in on these and put them over each other. So now that we have the top and bottom screen, what you want to do is pay attention to these numbers in the effect control panel, or however else you modify the position in the editing software that you're using. And because this will align perfectly, I don't even have to drag this. I can just type in 200 and that will be perfectly on the left. And then for the bottom screen, I can type in 560 and that will be perfectly on the right. And we're going to render this, and this is the MP4 that we're going to use. And now I will just name this input. And now double check that you're rendering in the correct resolution, 720 by 240, 30 FPS, like how these clips were. And now I can click export. Now that our animation is rendered, it's time to convert it to a .bax so our 3DS can play it. Locate the release folder from the make.bax zip we extracted and put your MP4 in there. Now hold shift, right click, and select open PowerShell window here. The first command we're going to type is ffmpeg
space -i, the name of your video in quotation marks, space -f, space -ivf, space, and in quotation marks what you want the converted file to be called.
We're converting the file, so let's call it converted. And make sure you put .ivf at the end. And now press enter. The next command is to make it a .bax file. So type period, / or / whatever the one you see on screen is.
Make bax -win64.exe, space, and in quotation marks the name of the IVF file you made, space, and in quotation marks the name of what the bax file will be. Let's call it intro, and then .bax.
And now press enter. This creates the bax file that you drag into the bax folder on your 3DS. So do that now. After you do that, put your SD card back in your 3DS, hold start, and power it on until this pops up. In here, go to Safe BS9 installer, enter this code with your D-pad, and press A. This makes it so your boot animation is the first thing that loads every time you turn on your 3DS. And after this is done, once you press A, you will see your brand new boot animation. Hopefully. And let's go! It worked! If you don't have an editing software, it's kind of hard to do this, so if you're struggling with getting anything to work, join my Discord server linked in the description, and in the Homebrew support channel, ping the bax roll with 2 MP4s. One for your top screen, one for your bottom screen. And whenever I'm online, I'll send the MP4 you can use to make the bax file. But I hope this video was helpful, and if it was, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more modding content. Bye!